Thank you for coming. Every year we'll make an annual tradition to recognize and remember those who have passed. This year we've had firefighter Scott Donaldson, Deputy Chief Charles Booker, and firefighter Frank Martinez that has passed away. So if you would keep him in your thoughts and prayers of families. At this point, I'd like to call up our new chaplain. This is actually her second day. This is Dory Briggs. She comes to us from our CERT program that I'll talk about after a while. Dory, would you come up, please? Welcome our new chaplain, Dory Briggs.
Gracious God, thank you for bringing us here this evening. Help us to celebrate the lives of the gentlemen who passed in this past year. Be with all of us as we celebrate the service of the old-timers that have joined us and those who weren't able to make it tonight but are here in spirit. Lord, we look forward to a wonderful dinner and time of fellowship and visiting. Please bless the hands that prepared our food tonight, and be with us as we visit with each other. We pray all these things in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Briggs. Appreciate it. Now, I'd like to have our main chef come up, Chris Mathis, and tell us a little bit about our dinner that we're having tonight. Chris?
Folks, we're going to try to make this as less chaotic as possible. Tonight we're going to be serving oyster stew. We have 3 varieties of oyster stew. One is a traditional basic oyster stew. The second contains horseradish. The third has onions and celery. All 3 have time tested. We've been serving over 30 years and we haven't killed anybody yet. Tonight, just to make it a little bit more organized, the door that's open, if everybody will enter there, you can go straight ahead to the oyster stew, or you can cut to the right, in which we will have hot dogs, baked beans, and chips for those of you who do not, or do choose not to partake in the oyster stew. Dessert will be served after that. Hopefully, we will be bouncing around there trying to make sure everything stays stocked. Is any questions? Back to you, boss.
One thing I want to say before we fellowship and have our meal is for those who are not familiar with the station here, we do have a loud buzzer, so if it goes off, don't get alarmed. The guys out here on the fire truck know what to do. So please partake in your meal and fellowship, and we'll start our program momentarily.
I'm sorry. What's the rest? He's getting all this on video. How are you supposed to do something slimy with?
You want me to clean it up?
Yeah.
Put somebody.
The whole kitchen.
Sorry.
Wait, what is this, y'all?
That's oyster.
That's cocktail.
That's cocktail.
Shrimp cocktail with a sword.
I'm staying kid. Doing a pretty good job at it. Stepping down and somebody finds me. What are you doing now, son? Staying down there in my little car. Get out there once in a while.
Definitely something new. Can't get away with anything around here.
I know.
everyone enjoyed their dinner. Supporters first, the committee that we had together, Deputy Chief Robert Rogers, Captain Pavel Truck, Lieutenant Chris Cooper. They helped put all this together, so I'd like to thank you guys. I appreciate it. The cook, reason that you guys are here tonight is because of the cooks. And Chris Mathis, if you would please introduce your cooks for tonight, please.
Guys, just to give you a little bit of information, originally this started, I got brought into this, and unfortunately I got brought into this about 1986, 1987, when somebody said, hey, we're going to have an oyster stew dinner. Would you mind helping out for a few minutes? And I showed up about 2 o'clock thinking, okay, this is just open a few cans of stew, pour it over here, feed folks. Okay. Then I found out that we were actually shucking oysters. Interesting. Originally, the oyster stew dinner that we have here started out as an egg bowl. That was in 1936. That ran through about 1971 and it switched over where somebody in the department had a deal on a bunch of in-shell oysters. It ran till a little bit of time right there and it stopped because everybody kept stabbing their hands trying to shuck oysters. And then we went to get what we have now. The last 25 or 30 years, pretty much you've seen the same team back here cooking. Myself, I'm a retired captain of Roswell, 25 plus years. Bobby McCord, captain of Roswell, retired 28 plus years. Larry Smith, captain of Roswell, retired 25 plus years at the department. Ken Moss, retired 30 plus years at Roswell. And I brought a few other friends in and out throughout the years. David Schubert has helped us the last 2 years. He has nothing to do with the fire department, but loves the people that are up here. But each year we try to make it just a little different, a little special. And again, thank you for the sponsors to let us put this on every year.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. It's always good. And next, I'd like to just recognize and thank someone that, since he retired every year, has put this on. He's been the backbone, working behind the scenes, doing more work than you would ever know to make sure this event happens. And without him, it would be a lot harder on me. So, Ricky Spencer, our retired chief, I call him retired, but I still call him my I'd also like to recognize our council liaison, Marcelo Zapata. Thank you for being here tonight. Not only being here, but staying, because the mayor and council have a big event at City Hall, but instead of going down there, he said he would rather be here, so thank you very much. Our department head, who had Chief Grant here, our police chief, earlier, but he had to leave for another event, so I just wanted to recognize him. Special guest tonight, I saw retired Judge Maurice here. Is he still here? Absolutely. Maurice, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I'd like to also thank the Roswell Fire and Police Foundation. I'll tell you just a little bit about that. That's a foundation we have to help firefighters and police officers in their time of need if they get hurt or injured on the job. The foundation was formed several years ago to help out, and I'm lucky enough that they allow me to be a part of that foundation. But I'd like to recognize a few people that are here, and if I've missed anybody, please let me know. Joanna Spencer, please stand up. Hope I said the last name right. Mary Ann's still here?
No, she had to leave.
Deputy Chief Tony Pappas. Tony Mitchell. I'd just like to thank everybody for what they do on that foundation. Like I said, I've been lucky enough to work with them for years, so it's a good foundation and we do quite a lot. Right now, I'd like to also recognize, if you're here, stand up please, Deputy Chief Robert Rogers. Deputy Chief Paul McGrilly. Deputy Chief Tony Papas. Is Battalion Chief David Rogers, are you here? And I believe that is there's no other battalion chiefs here tonight, correct?
No, sir.
Okay. Now what I'd like to do, I'd like anybody that is a current firefighter, please stand up. Current firefighter with the city of Roswell, please stand up. Now, if there's anybody that is retired from the Roswell Fire Department, please stand up. For those of you that just stood up, thank you for making the place what it is today. Now, I would like to thank every year the two gentlemen that sponsor this event, and without them we could not have this event. I'd like to thank Don Howard and Trumy Patrick. Trumy, would you come up? Again, every year they sponsor this event and allow us to be able to put this event on. So I'm going to turn the microphone over to Trumy, let him start, and then one of the representatives from Don, if you will, just say a few words.
Thank you, Chief. Unfortunately, I would need to add one more to your list of folks to remember, and that is my good friend, R.T. Skipper Hope. I've never been, in all the years I've been coming to the Oyster Stew Supper, I've never been here without Skipper. And this one's a little tough. But anyway, I'm going to make sure he's remembered. We've been blessed with great firefighters over the years, and the job they do in protecting the citizens of this community is just unbelievable. We've also been blessed with some good fire chiefs. Unfortunately, we only have one retired fire chief still alive, and that'd be Ricky Spencer. Let's give Ricky a hand. Okay. Anyway, we really sincerely appreciate everything you do, and I just remember 5:45, almost right.
I'm Catherine Story, and I'm the retail market manager at Bank of Georgia here in Roswell, the big one on the corner. And this is Phil Cleveland, who's going to be joining our office soon. He's actually in our Alpharetta office, but we won't talk about that. But we're sorry that Don couldn't be here tonight, but he did ask us to come and represent him and to thank you all for your service. And I look around the room and I see many of you that bank with the bank, and we really appreciate your business also. So we're very happy to do this and represent Don tonight. Thank you. Have a great evening.
I would like to present gifts to each one of you. So for Trumy, if no one has these are just now been put out. So these are not for sale, these are only to be given away. So, of course, everybody's in the Yeti up, right? So, this first official Roswell Fire Department Yeti Cup. We also have one for Don, so if you please deliver. I just want to take a few minutes, and the last couple of years we have been getting questions, so I'm going to go over just some basic stuff, so if you bear with me for 5 minutes, you don't have to listen to me talk until we close the dinner tonight. Talk a little bit about our history. A lot of you out here know a lot more about the history than I do, but I do know that we started out as an all-volunteer department. At one time, there was actually a fire department and a rescue squad. And then they merged together to become an all-volunteer fire department. When I started, we were volunteer. Now we have 7 stations. We have 8 engines, 4 rescue trucks, 3 ladder trucks, 1 squad, an air light truck, and many other pieces of equipment. When I first started, we were manning this station here with 1 person. We had 4 stations. We managed this station here with 1 person during the day and 3 people at night. And that's all that we had here. Today, we have 7 stations staffed. We man with 28 personnel a day. We're a combination department with 131 part-time employees, 19 full-time employees. So we're a combination department. A lot of people get it confused and they call us a part-time department, and I take offense to that. We are not a part-time department. We have 131 very professional firefighters that work for other departments that happen to work here. We have about 10 left from our volunteer group that now are part-time firefighters here. So we have the most experienced fire department in the state of Georgia. There is nowhere in this state that you can run an engine out of a station with 3 people and have over 60 years of experience here. And we do that. We do it proudly. So I'm very passionate about that. That's the reason we have the best department to do it. I can say that because I am the fire chief of this department. One of the programs that we started when I was lucky enough to get this position after I convinced Chief Spencer to retire is our community risk reduction program. I'm very proud of this program. It's a program where we get out into the community. We do community CPR. We have the Safe Kids of North Fulton. We have a citywide AED program, many more programs. One of the things that we've started that we're going to continue to do is our CERT program, Citizens Emergency Response Team. And probably a lot of you are here thinking, gosh, we got a lot of people here I don't know. They can't be old timers. So if you're a CERT member, would you please stand up? Welcome to our family. Our budget is over $8 million a year operating budget. The apparatus numbers, I know for a lot of you that are here, you're probably wondering why you see 21 on our equipment, or if you go to our other stations, 22 and so on. The reason that is we have a very close working relationship with every city up here in North Fulton. We do a lot of mutual aid, we do a lot of automatic aid with them. So because of firefighter safety, we had the chiefs up here in North Fulton got together and we decided that we would come up with numbering so if we got on the scene together, we wouldn't get confused with Roswell Engine 1 and Alfred Engine 1. So Roswell took the 20 series, Milton Fire Department's the 40 series, Sandy Springs is the 50 series, Johns Creek's the 60, and Alpharetta's the 80 series. So when you see that, that's the reason our numbers have changed the way they have. New equipment, because the gracious of Mayor and Council, we'll be getting a new engine here at Station 1 in March, in about 2 weeks. The cost of that engine is $580,000 for engine and equipment. In June, we'll be getting a new ladder truck that will be going to our new fire station at Station 4. That truck was $1.2 million with the truck and equipment. In April, we'll be opening up a new fire station. And on one of the slides that we were showing earlier that was showing, I saw a slide where it said in 1977, it was either Station 2 or 3, we bought for $107,000. New fire station 4 is going to be $4.8 million. Now, if you would, I'd like to do the years of service pin. I'm going to call up Deputy Chief Robert Rogers, Deputy Chief Paul Piccarilli, Deputy Chief Tony Poppins. Please come up.
The years of service we're going to go through here, as Chief Burnett said, we work an unusual situation with our department where we have people that come from other jobs and work here. So consequently, they've worked their job, they've worked here, and then on their one day off, they may not be here tonight. So not everyone's up here. If the people are not up here when I call their names, look at these names, and when you see them in the next couple of weeks, just congratulate them for the years of service. So for 5 years, we've got Chris Best, Jason Evangelista, Eric Hatton, Chris Hilton, James Meesmores, Andy Rivera, John Tababin, and LeGarrette Weaver. And if you're here tonight, if you were Chris Best, I believe you're here, and John Tababin for 5 years of service. Okay, I don't believe any of our 10-year recipients are here. Scott Anderson, Cheryl Dawson, and Shane Dobson. I don't believe any of them are here tonight, but if you see them, please congratulate them in a couple of weeks. Same for the 15 years, Mark Akins, Seth Bowen, Willie McCluskey, Floyd Elroy, who is the RAPSTIC coordinator and does a tremendous job at our training center and keeping all the training and all the folks that go in and out of there. We do a tremendous job up there with the Alpharetta folks, the Roswell folks, and as a regional training center. We do a great job there. And then Rob Schultz. For the 20-year people, I've got Bill Logan and Tom Minikeller not here, but Captain Brian Wolf, I do believe you're here. So if you would please come up. I started about 5 or 6 months after this gentleman started, a long time ago. He's been a tremendous support to all of us, and he is our current fire chief. I'd like to recognize Ricky Burnett for 30 years of service to the Roswell Fire Department. Captain Ricky Pappy Gresham, 40 years. Captain Gresham, would you please come up here? I'm not going to talk about it. There's two gentlemen in the room here tonight that were working the same night that Captain Gresham and I were working. Captain Gresham and I were working at Station 1, which is here, and the other two gentlemen were working at Station 4. We got a reported structure fire from an apartment complex on fire in Station 4's territory. Captain Gresham was driving. When I closed my eyes at the second turn and I opened them back, we were on the scene. We still couldn't find the engine fault. So this guy has been a mentor to all of us. We love him. He's just a great guy. 40 years of service, my friend. Congratulations.
At this time, I'd like to share the video we have with you. So it's about 8 minutes long, so please enjoy. It's a very good video.
Firefighters at the station listen as the tone goes out. Fire alarms activated and a building is showing smoke, and so the engine rolls to trouble again. There's people at the scene just watching, people running out for their lives. The firefighters get there and help them out and go looking for more inside, 'cause that's just what they do, these women and men. 'Cause they made a promise and here they come. Someone heard and called 911, and the siren saying hope is on the way. There's a hero racing to help a stranger today. Saturday night in the city, the cruiser gets a dispatch call. Little girl says her daddy's mad and drank a bunch of alcohol, and so they head away into trouble again. People at the house are screaming. Someone yells he's got a gun. A little girl full of panic cries out, "Daddy, don't you shoot my mom." And that's where the cops come in, these women and men. 'Cause they made a promise, and here they come. Someone heard and called 911, and the siren saying hope is on the way. There's a hero racing to help a stranger today. People in the world need saving, but saviors who answer the call don't get paid anymore for danger. Get to pick the ones they want. They just go to where the few will go, maybe lay it all on the line as they do that job. Do it one more time. 'Cause they made a promise and here they come. Someone heard and called 911, and the siren saying hope is on the way. There's a hero racing to help a stranger today. There's a hero racing to help a stranger today.
two special guests to speak tonight. And I would like to call them up one at a time, but first will be Hal Coleman and then Chief Ricky Spencer. Hal, come up, please.
I don't have anything prepared because I didn't know I was going to speak until I got here, but I'm always prepared to speak. The fire department has changed. It ain't the way it used to be. Now, when I got on the fire department in 1975, the first thing somebody said to me was Bobby McCord said to me, the fire department's changed. Yeah, so it has changed now. You saw the picture of the original fire department in 1936, and one of those guys, Ralph Dempsey, was a dear friend of mine. He and my dad were best friends all of their lives. Ralph was born and raised in Roswell, but he eventually moved to Chamblee. But I used to pick up Ralph and bring him to the Oyster supper for years, and he passed away a few years back. But Ralph used to tell me stories about when he joined the fire, when they formed the fire department. They didn't have a fire truck, but they had an old a hand pump on a big reel on the wheels, but in order to take it to the fire, you had to drag it to the fire. So cars back then had the spare tires on the back, Continental kids. So whoever got to the fire department first would take the handle of the reel and put it over the Continental kid, over the spare tire, and drive it to the fire. And so that's the way this thing started. And they saved up money to get a new fire truck. So, it has evolved. And I know it's gotten a lot more political. And, back then, after the fire meetings on Tuesday night, broke out the cards and the whiskey and had a good time, played poker. We were up the road in a building that's no longer there, but they had modified the attic and turned it into a meeting room. When I joined the fire department, I was fireman number 27. And so we would meet. We had 2 rows of tables and a little podium up at the end of the table where Aubrey would hold the meetings. There were no windows. And everybody except for Harold Green and Aubrey Reed smoked. So 25 people would immediately pass out the ashtrays and light up. And within about a minute or 2, you couldn't see it. I mean, it was just solid smoke. That's the way it was. And Harold Green would complain about the smoke, and I thought, he is a weird dude. Bothered by cigarette smoke. Can you imagine that? And Aubrey never did complain about it, but that's just the way it was. Now, I could tell you stories all night long, but I do want to tell you a couple of them. Where you talk about all this fancy equipment, Chief. We didn't have, a lot of this stuff. But sometimes you don't need all the fancy equipment. Now, I'm reminded of one night when we got a call down on the river. How many of you remember the old jet airplane that used to be on Azalea Drive? Yeah. Well, down there one night we got a call, the car was off in the river. So we went down there and got there, and about 35 yards out in the river was the top of a car, about that much of a car sticking up station wagon. And we got there, and about 3 county rescue trucks, Fulton County Fire Department got there, and people jumped out, and about 6 of them started putting on their diving gear, their wetsuits, and each of them had an assistant to help them get dressed. And they were putting on all this equipment and everything and to get out, swim out to that floating car. So I told Aubrey, I said, hold my wallet. And I just kicked off my shoes because I knew that the water was only 18 inches deep. The car wasn't floating, it was sitting on the bottom. So I just walked out there, looked in there, and I yelled back, there ain't nobody in there. So I looked back, and all the divers, their assistants are helping them get all those clothes off, get all that equipment off, and we get back. See, all we did was just jump in there. When we had a house that was on fire, we didn't, some of us didn't have bunker gear with us. We didn't have time. We just went in there, all the clothes that we ruined and beards that we got, in spite of what people tell you, air pack will work if you got a beard. Because I think we all had beards back then, but we wore them. But we had a good time. Another time we had a fire down on Azalea Drive, and not on Azalea Drive, but Beau Rivage Apartments. Kind of gutted out an apartment, and after we got it out, we started kind of exploring it. Now, I don't know, these people had some exotic stuff in there, but they had a leopard skin rug with a head on it, with the mouth open. So when I found it, I just picked it up and wrapped it around me and got in the closet. So I hear people milling around in there, checking to make sure there's no hot spots. And Charles Webb, y'all remember Charles Webb, opened the closet door. And I jumped out with that leopard skin. They like to never got him resuscitated. And another time we were in a house fire, we got it all put out as an old country home. I don't even remember where, somewhere off Jones Road. And Charles Webb and I were standing in the kitchen, and it had been burned out pretty bad, and the floor fell in. We were right in the middle of the concert, we just went right through the floor. But the thing is, the house had a crawl space on it, so it was only this far to the ground. So all of a sudden, we're standing there, and we just went, I think we just fell through the floor. But we had some close. We were lucky nobody was ever seriously injured, and we had a good time. But I remember I'd been on the fire department for about a year. And, back then it wasn't anything to wet people down with a hose. I mean, if you were a new fireman, you just had to expect some things were going to happen to you. But I was on a fire up off of Hard Scrabble Road, and a tool shed had caught on fire and burned up back there. A guy put a lawnmower in there, and it was still hot, and it caught some fumes on fire. It was burning up. And so the truck got there, and I grabbed a hose, and this guy was with me coming down through there helping me pull the hose, and he got tangled up in some bushes and all that, and I'm trying to help him, and then got the hose wrapped around his leg and all, and we got the thing put out. I said, who is that? Is that new guy over there? Somebody said, that's Ricky Spencer. I said, I thought we're supposed to get the vote on people. They said, oh, he'll be all right. He'll be all right. So I kind of took him under my wing after that. We were rolling up the hose, and I just went, Rick, I said, let me tell you something. I said, you just watch what I do and listen to me and do everything I tell you to do. And someday you'll be running this place. Listen, I drive a bright red Ford F-150 pickup truck. Ever since I was on the fire department, it's the only color truck I'll drive. I mean, this gets in your blood, And people ask me, they say, why do you back into your driveway? I said, you know what? Because I'm a fireman. They said, well, I didn't know you were a fireman. I said, well, you know what? I am a fireman because once you're a fireman, you're always a fireman. So wherever you go, whatever you do, we're firemen.
I knew he was going to tell that story, that's why I wanted to go first. But I appreciate Chief Burnett for everything you've done and inviting me up to speak tonight. And I got on the fire department in 1975. And I lived on Upper Henry Road with my grandmother. And I got on the fire department in September, and it was starting to get cold. And at night, I don't know if we even had the little miniature one-pagers yet, but we had to hear the siren down here on the old fire station and up at Manhattan Park. Whenever there was a fire, they set the siren off from the Roswell Police Department, and then you'd get in your truck, you'd put your little red light on top, and down the road you'd go. So my grandmother came in the room one night. She said, Ricky, what are you doing? I said, I'm trying to sleep, Gran. She said, well, can you mind closing that window? I said, no, ma'am, I can't do that. She said, well, why? I said, because if there's a fire, I got to hear the siren. She said, well, it's 30 degrees outside. You need to close that window. So I said, well, okay, I'll close it. But when she looked back in the room, I cracked it up a little bit so I could hear the siren. But there was many a night that I laid up there and I would listen to that siren and come down to Station 1, which was just down the street. And there was always a chalkboard out there. The first person to come to the truck would write the address of the fire. So we would get in our truck from there and go to the fire, wherever it might be. And most of the times, the older fire trucks would leak water. And every time a fire truck would turn a curve, you just follow the water. So if you didn't know your city streets, you just follow the water trail and you find the guys on fire. But back then, it was truly a volunteer fire department. We got $1,200 a year to be a volunteer fire department. It was a stipend. And then we get paid twice a year, like in June and in December, we got our second check. And we would have a dinner. And that's when all the wives showed up. The wives knew when to come to the firemen's meetings. That was to get that check. So it was all good. But I was going to say something about when they started, a few businessmen and concerned citizens of Roswell started the fire department in 1936, 1937, that they knew there was a need for fire service in Roswell. There was none. So they got together, they got it started, and as Chris alluded to earlier, they had egg boils. And then eggs were cheap. I don't even know if they were a dime a dozen back then. But that's what they did. They boiled eggs, sit around and eat them, and then whatever happened after they got through eating eggs, I really couldn't tell you. But that was what became the Oyster Dinner. And the Oyster Dinner has been a big success for many, many years. Without Don and Truby, we would not probably be able to continue that on. We appreciate your support very much. It means a lot to us and to these retired firefighters. And how many old-timers do we have here that were just volunteers? Would you please stand up and let us see how many there are left? These are the people that got this department where we're at today, and I appreciate you very much. Now, I'm not a storyteller like Milton Crowd, but I could tell a few stories, but I know it's kind of getting late, and I just want to say that since I retired in September 2014, I do miss the job. I do not miss the political part of that job. God bless you. But what I really miss is the guys and the girls. I stop by the stations quite often to see people, and I go in to see them and introduce myself to the new guys, and I just enjoy seeing them. And it really means a lot for me to be able to walk through that door and be greeted like you guys greet me. It really means a lot to me. And I've lived in Roswell for 63 years. I'm probably going to live here another 40. And, you know, we talked many, many years ago about the Roswell Fire Department being a full-time paid department. 20 years ago, we said, it's going to happen next year. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And when I became chief, I said, it's probably going to happen now. But you know the reason it hasn't happened is because these men and women sitting in this room right here today, those that just stood up, those that are in uniform, and those that will be here after we leave tonight are the reason it's that way. And you know, if you live in the city of Roswell, these men and women in this room, especially with all these chiefs, they save us, taxpayers, about $8 million a year if it was a full-time paid department. So thank you guys for what you do for us. I love you, I always have and I always will. It's good to be here, and we're going to do this again next year, right, Truby? Right. See y'all next February. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Spencer. Before I start on my closing remarks, everybody's right. The fire service has changed. It's changed from when I started, from people before me, it has changed drastically. But the one thing that does not change is family. And it was family 30 years ago, it's family today. So I want to tell you, I appreciate every one of you being here tonight. It's truly been an honor to fellowship and have dinner, share a meal with you guys. Just some reminders, please help us remember those that we lost, so next year we can honor them. Please make sure you sign the books. I do not want to forget anybody. Ask Miss Gina, because I always go back 2 or 3 times during this time and say, have you got any emails? How many people's coming? So this is an event that I am very passionate about and want to continue year after year. Be safe. We'll see you next year. And remember, whether you get an invitation or not, the Old Timers Dinner, the Oyster Stew Supper, is the last February. It's the last Tuesday night in February every year. So with that, please, old timers, go to the ladder truck and have a photo made. Everybody else, be careful, be safe. Thank you for coming.
Firefighters at the station, listen as the tone goes out. Fire alarms activated and a building is showing smoke, and so the engine rolls to trouble